Hello, Otherworldlies. This is Queen Juliana, your Dark Mask Diva. Today I want to talk about how everybody has an agenda. Now, people get in my comments on my very popular video and they like to argue with me about why can't it be simpler? How come you're giving us this dark advice? Why can't people be more open with each other? Blah, blah, blah. Acting like I'm the bad guy for giving the advice I'm giving. All right, I'm gonna tell you why. All right, so you don't think I'm a bad guy, so you don't think this is just me being mean. All right, you don't think this is my problem. This is just my opinion, okay? Because it's not. I'm trying to give you guys some game, and it's not because we're playing a game. It's because life is a game, all right? And anybody who says they're not into games is still playing a game, all right? So let's begin by saying everybody has an agenda, and even though people will say, I'm just here to see where this goes. Okay, that person has an agenda. All right. Anybody who does anything has an agenda. People when they're dating, everybody who's dating has an agenda. I mean, you meet this nice person, they're on a date with you. They have agendas. All right. Men who have agendas, men approach you. All right, they have agendas. They basically either want to sleep with you, find someone to pay half the bills, okay, or they need a female to be a slave. All right, that's really what they're looking for. Men are not romantic. They don't believe in soulmates, twin flames, and stuff like that. Women believe in things like that. Women read all kinds of psychology articles and things like that. We work on ourselves. We do all those things. We are looking to fall in love. We are looking to find our other half. We are looking to have feelings for somebody. Okay, men are not looking for that. Men are thinking in a sexual way, or they're thinking to take advantage of you. They are thinking in some kind of primal way when they're looking at you. They either are trying to get ahead financially being with you, or they want somebody to take care of the house, all right, and cook for them and clean, or they are just coming from a place of lust, okay? That's how men are. They're not thinking, I want to share my feelings with somebody. That's not how men are. They don't want to have meaningful conversations. And when they say, I'd like to get to know you better, what they're doing is they're saying, I'm going to try to say all the right things, which are a bunch of lies, to see if they can get you into bed. That's how most men are operating, all right? And what men do is, you're wondering why men lie. All right, it's because they know if they told you the truth that you wouldn't like them. Okay, so men lying, they're only doing that because it's a strategy. If they told you the truth, if they told you what they were thinking, if they told you why they came up to you, if they told you how life was really going, if they told you their real 5-year plan, if they told you their past, if they told you what goes through their mind, what they're really thinking, when you go, what are you thinking? You wouldn't like them. Okay, so them lying to you is actual strategy. That's them being intelligent. Okay, when he says to you, what are you thinking? We open up the floodgates and tell them too much. When I say, ladies, you talk too much, we talk too much. We need to take a chapter from their book. I'm not saying become a pathological liar, but stop telling men so much. All right? They don't tell us things, and that's because that's emotional intelligence on their part. They don't want to tell us stuff. I mean, some men don't have a filter and they blurt out stuff, and they say stupid things, and those are the men we don't like. But we like the men that lie, and then we wonder why they're lying to us. That's because those are emotionally intelligent men, and they know we're not going to like them if they tell the truth. So it's like you either have to take the ones that are tactless and tell you what they're really thinking, or the ones that lie. So it's like you have to pick a struggle. Men are not trying to fall in love. They just simply aren't. They're just trying to find somebody who is going to serve their agenda. All right. Women are trying to fall in love. So what women need to do is they need to take a page from men's books. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, what? Did you just describe men in a horrible way, making them sound like monsters, making them sound like the bad guys? Hold up. We need to match their energy. All right. We need to figure out what we want. So we need to have an agenda, and everybody has an agenda. Okay. Our agenda just is not aligning with their agenda. So we need to have an agenda that serves us, not an agenda that's going to get us being played. Okay. And some women do have an agenda. Women have an agenda where I want a provider. I want a man who is going to take care of me, pay the bills, make more money than me, possibly let me stay home and he works, that kind of thing. Okay, so you need to know what kind of men to avoid. Avoid men who say, what do you bring to the table? Just say to him, nothing. I bring myself. That's it. Don't ask me what I bring to the table. You just say, I bring myself. And if he doesn't like it, you know that you just get rid of that guy. That's some strategy there. And you're being honest. All right. And that's just a rude question anyway. That's a guy who's looking for somebody to pay half the bills. And you're just using strategy, just getting rid of somebody who's doing that. If a guy asks you a question like that, he's not truly attracted to you, okay? Remember when I said men are looking for three things. They're looking for somebody to take care of them, pay half the bills, or they're just approaching you to sleep with you, okay? That's their three main goals. They're not looking to fall in love. So everybody has an agenda, all right? So what you want to do is you want to think, okay, am I looking for somebody to have a real connection with? All right. If you meet somebody who's talking about emotional stuff, somebody who's emotionally grounded and is really talking about emotionally grounded things, okay, you might be dealing with somebody halfway decent, okay. If this guy is sending you a bunch of pictures of his abs, him in the gym, he says he's in the gym 7 times a week and stuff like that. Okay, guys, that only impresses other guys. You're going to get a lot of guys in your DMs when you do that. If you're posting a lot of pictures of yourself in the gym, okay, that kind of stuff just impresses other guys. Women like a fit man, but we're more impressed with what you have going on upstairs. We're more impressed with your personality, and we're more impressed with how emotionally intelligent you are, how emotionally regulated you are. All right? What kind of dad you're going to make. How ambitious you are. How emotionally mature you are. Okay, are you going to meet us in an emotionally mature level? Where could we have a talk with you and have you get it? Can you emotionally grow with us? Okay, because women date to have long-term relationships. A lot of us want to get married, and we don't want to have to replace you in 2 years. We want to be with you long term. Okay, women crave stability. So we're looking to grow with you emotionally. But everybody has an agenda. Now, there are people who say, I'm a good woman, I'm a good man, I'm just a good guy. Okay, you need to watch out for those kinds of people. And I know a lot of you are going, but that's me. I'm a good woman, I'm a good guy. Okay, a lot of those people feel entitled and they feel wrong done by when they put in their good guy energy and their good woman energy and they do all this stuff. Okay, maybe that's not what that person is looking for. Maybe they're looking for somebody to be unpredictable, and maybe they're looking for somebody who's not quite so giving. Okay, maybe they're looking for something else. Maybe you think you're a good woman and you think you're a good guy. Maybe you're actually not. Maybe you have all kinds of off-putting behaviors and all kinds of bad habits, and you're not listening like you think you do, and you're actually doing all these things because you have an agenda to get something back. And then you get mad when you don't get the things back you think you ought to get back. You're not doing it selflessly. Okay? And you like acting like a victim. And a lot of these people play this good woman, good guy, this trope, and they think if they are this person, they can make themselves look like a victim, and they could play the victim, saying, I put forth this, and I expected you to give me back that. Okay, maybe that person doesn't have the bandwidth to return that, or maybe that person, maybe you really aren't the good woman or the good guy you think you are. All right. Maybe you are acting like you're putting up with this person. Okay, maybe whatever they're doing isn't that bad. Okay, maybe you are lucky to be with them. There's a lot of different scenarios that come into play, and maybe you just don't have a realistic grasp of the situation. But this channel is dark psychology. Okay, I tell everybody on this channel that not everybody has a pure motive. All right, you tell people things about your past, they're going to hold it against you. And it's not because they're bad people. It's because, say, like you tell somebody that you've been scammed. Okay, nobody can help this. In the back of their mind, they're thinking, you're a little naive. You're a little thirsty for validation. You're a little thirsty for compliments. You are not good with your money because you allowed somebody to scam you. So they think you're a little untrustworthy. Okay, so should you tell people you were scammed before? They're not gonna want to open a bank account with you. They are going to think they can manipulate you by flattering you. People can't help but think those things about you when you give them information like that. And I don't want to put down anybody who has been scammed, because those people look for lonely people. They look for people who have just lost a loved one. They just look for people who are isolated. They look for people who are just a little greedy, who are a little thirsty, who maybe don't get validated very much. And they look for a particular type of person, maybe someone who is a little on the naive side and gets very triggered by validation. All right, which is why you should not be thirsty for compliments. It's okay to like compliments, just don't be thirsty for compliments. All right, there's a difference. It's okay to thank somebody for a compliment, but don't be like, oh, whenever someone says something nice to you. I mean, always realize that they may have some kind of motive too. Okay, and anyone who asks you for money, stop being so darn giving. Stop giving people things. just stop giving so much. People are flattering you and then asking you for something. Just notice those two things going together. Don't give people your money. All right, because that's why people flatter you, because they generally want something from you. A lot of people, that is why they're validating you. They are trying to extract something from you, and I'm sorry to say, but if you are not used to getting validated, and then somebody is validating you and asking you for something, that's why they're doing it. Okay, so please keep a realistic perspective on that. But everybody has an agenda. Everybody who dates has an agenda. Even these so-called, good guys and good women. Even the nicest people, even you have an agenda. You think you don't, but you do. Everybody who dates has one. The people who say, let's see where this goes. Even the people that pretend they're not interested in marriage. Guys, these women who say they're not interested in marriage or anything long term. Okay, there's a part of them that is. They're just saying that so they don't scare you. And I know I don't give the guys as much attention as I give the girls on here, because I'm a woman and I give women more advice. But guys, women are just trying not to scare you, okay? These ladies channels just say, hey, don't scare guys off. Don't give guys this plan like, I want to be married after such and such dating, and I want to have kids after X amount of married life, and then 2 years later I want to have another kid, and then I want to do this, and then we need to move to a bigger house, and because that kind of talk scares men. All right, and I've talked to men that said, I met this woman and she became my girlfriend, and then she said, in a couple of years we need to be married, and then 2 years later we need to have a kid, and then we need to have another one. And he said, and I basically ghosted her, and I did it on Christmas because I couldn't believe the audacity of her. And this guy was a big jerk and everything like that, don't get me wrong, but he just said he was very offended by her plan. But see, she talked too much. She revealed too much. But she had an agenda, and she revealed her agenda. Okay, well, that was not very smart of her. But she was just trying to be honest. And he was offended by it. And he said, no, and the fact of the matter is, he probably doesn't want to be a father, and he probably doesn't want to settle down. He was just probably attracted to her. That was his agenda. He was probably just attracted, and he never wants to settle down, and he never wants to have kids. That's his whole thing. This guy is like, how can I say, this guy is like a serial dater, so he was really scared off when she did that. So, and some guys might want to settle down real bad. I don't know any guys like that, but some guys that might not bother. That bothered this guy, okay? But I don't know any guys that would be okay with that. Just personally. Unless this, like some guys feel like they need to be married by a certain age. But guys don't want to get married. Okay? Don't talk like that. Guys, when they get married, they usually are kind of forced into it. Guys really don't want to be married. And I hate to be the one to don't be mad at me for telling you that, but they kind of don't want to be. But so if you have an agenda like that, just don't tell them. Just back off with that. Anyway, everybody does have an agenda, so if you don't want to hear about that kind of stuff, just don't watch my channel, because I will be honest about agendas on here. I will be honest about dark psychology. I will be honest about all of that stuff and talk about the way people really think and what really offends people and what people don't like. I mean, because all I'm really trying to do is help. Okay, and I'm having to be the bearer of bad news. And people on here don't like it. Like, why can't it be simpler? I'm not the one that comes up with this stuff. I'm not the one that made things the way they are, okay? I'm one person. I'm one person that just happens to have an honest streak. Okay, I'm on here to tell the truth, to help you guys. I'm not on here telling you to bum you out or anything like that. I'm just telling you to help you. And it's like these people get in my comments and say all this stuff like, why is everything a game to you? It's not a game to me. It's a game, okay? So if anything I said helped or resonated, please leave me a nice comment, because I've been getting plenty of trolls. I hope I helped somebody, and God bless everybody, and have a nice evening. Bye-bye.